13 cars were broken into at UNLV over the course of 1 week. We'll take a look at how campus police is handling the investigation.
We'll also sit down with Jumana Massis to talk about UNLV's new Arab sorority. We have all of this and more. You're watching Studio G.
Good afternoon, Rebels, and welcome to this semester's first episode of Studio G. I'm Kayleen Talents.
And I'm Alyssa Truesdale.
UNLV police are investigating a series of vehicle break-ins on campus that have been happening for an entire week, and students want to know if UNLV campus is a safe place.
UNLV campus police are notifying students to take precautions when leaving their vehicles unattended overnight. There have been 13 cars that have been burglarized in only 1 week, and students are wondering if campus police is doing enough to prevent these break-ins. Detective Velez says that they will be increasing patrol officers to patrol the area overnight.
On the patrol side, of course, we've alerted the patrol officers to keep special attention to the lots on the overnight period, just increase patrols and be more of a presence during the nighttime hours. And also we sent out the timely warning to alert the campus community about the situation and to give them a few crime prevention tips in order to help stop the problem.
Students are being asked to not leave any valuables in their vehicles overnight.
There are cases where students probably just don't lock their cars because they're tired or just go into the dorm, so maybe double checking and making sure.
The biggest thing is don't leave any property in your vehicle, because what they do is they'll walk through the parking lot and they'll be looking into vehicles, and if they see anything left on the seats, they'll break in and they'll take it. So we tell people if either bring it with you into the dorm, or if you're just here for the day, you know, don't leave things in the visible in the car. If you can't take it with you, then put it in the trunk, so at least it's not invisible.
I think overall UNLV is a safe place, but there things like that happen everywhere. But if it's not necessarily a great area over here too, so you just have to keep in conscious that what you leave in your car could possibly get taken out.
We've gotten a few calls with some information that's given us, we wouldn't call them leads, but just some information that we're looking into, and hopefully it'll lead to some more information.
If students feel unsafe, they can contact UNLV police to be escorted to their vehicles. For Studio G, I'm Jessica Vargas.
We're here. We need your help to keep the campus safe, so if you see something, say something. If you see anything suspicious, anybody suspicious on campus that's worrying you or you think might not, shouldn't be here, then give us a call and let us handle it.
There are no suspects in custody at this time, but they are still investigating these incidents. If students see any suspicious activity, don't hesitate to notify campus police.
Students walking outside the student union last week were met with graphic images when high-definition photos of dead fetuses and mutilated body parts were shown for all lunchgoers to see. We just want to give a warning to you that some of the following images might be too graphic for some viewers. A pro-life registered student organization on campus had asked for another pro-life organization, Justice for All, an organization that tours nationally, to come to the SU to show the provoking images on their one-story tall board to, as they said, generate a dialogue.
So we're creating dialogue where people can interact in a way in which they can share their thoughts, they can share their opinions, they can ask questions, and we'll have somebody encounter them who's willing to do the same, of listening and hopefully having that same, just that engagement that's actually a person-to-person conversation.
Concerns arose at the SU when students in registered student organizations started to question whether this signage was a rebuke of the story in the campus paper from the past couple of weeks, or if it was paid using CSUN funds. According to Claire Finley of Students for Life, the event has been in the works for some time and did not spend any CSUN funds.
So it's been a while in the making, probably about, I guess, a year now. We've just been emailing back and forth. We rented out the space, and we just kind of had to figure out the logistics of when they were coming, where we were going to set up. Lots of emailing for sure, but it hasn't been too bad. And really, our goal is just to engage people in dialogue.
As students were discussing the merits of both sides, free speech boards were circled around the exhibit. Students wrote on the boards in order to hash out their interests and make clear their side of the debate. Some wrote with profane language, while others wrote clear points.
Well, I already knew that this was going to be on campus, so I was already prepared for it mentally. As someone who has had an abortion, honestly, these images do not bother me at all whatsoever. The images that bother me are photos of abused children, starving children, children who have been hurt.
The organization Justice for All noted for all students that were concerned about the graphic images, the signs were posted near the entrances of the SU, warning of the graphic images ahead.
The university group Students for Organizing Diversity Activities, otherwise known as SODA, got to work at the student union to set up a public panel for Black Lives Matter last week. The event had a line out the door with university students waiting to see and read all of the stories of people who had been inflicted with some sort of suffering from being Black. One student spoke out about resistance and obstacles Black Lives Matter has faced so far.
Any civil rights, human rights issues that we face in America, they're always confronted with resistance because the majority in America wants to keep the status quo, right? So whenever we're confronted with like issues of progress, it seems to come down to making whatever our movement is palatable to a majority of, for lack of a better word, white Americans.
The national anthem for Black Lives Matter was sung by one of the members, and as students stood for the song, SODA representative Carl Catarata stood by and then spoke on the solution he hopes this event will give to concerned students.
The situation that this specific event is attempting to fix is just unknowingness in our community and just ignorance as well. Some people find that the movement Black Lives Matter is just to have special rights for African Americans or people who are Black. But it's not special rights, it's equal rights for everyone.
Once the discussion began, panelists started sharing stories with the audience about what it means to be a part of a Black Lives Matter and how they thought it is perceived by those around them. One faculty advisor at the event shared how the event impacted her.
I'm just proud of the students and the things that they do to make people aware of all of the things that are wrong in our society. And they're actually activists and trying to do something to change the things that they see wrong.
SODA has hosted events like this in the past and said they host events for organizations that represent disenfranchised and underreported groups on campus.
The Women's Center on campus offers different amenities to students. Their specialized group of care advocates focus on support for those dealing with interpersonal violence. Let's take a look to find out more about them. Giselle De Los Reyes has a story.
UNLV offers so many programs that covers almost all the essential needs for students. However, the Women's Center's team of care advocates wants you to know that they are here to listen to us. UNLV's care advocates provide in-person advocacy to students who want to discuss sensitive topics, all ranging from stalking to dating violence. Holly Ramala, president of the Care Advocates, wants to make sure that students know that everyone is welcome to take part in their services.
The Care Advocates provide advocacy for anybody, regardless of gender identity. So we're very understanding that interpersonal violence happens to everybody, regardless of their gender. If they need counseling, if they need to file a police report, stalking log, basically anything that they need, we assist them with.
With college campuses being considered a hot spot for sexual assaults, students need peer advocates to rely on for help. However, despite some of the challenges the advocates face, the results are always worthwhile.
Hearing somebody's story can be really, really hard. You know, the fact of the matter is that this is happening at UNLV and it's happening a lot. And you wouldn't see that based on police reports because people aren't going to police for many different reasons. Every time somebody comes in, we want to fix all their problems, and that's not what we're here to do, and that's not what we can do. We're just here to support them in whatever they decide to do. It's heavy for sure, but it's also great because it's wonderful to be aware and to know what's going on, and then to work with folks too, to feel like you're actually doing at least something, you know.
The care advocates are such an important resource to have on campus, and students can definitely get a sense of support at any time of the day. For Studio G, I'm Giselle De Los Reyes.
The advocates encourage empowerment among the community and hope to make a positive impact. Their hotline is available 24/7 and all callers remain anonymous.
After the break, we'll take a look at what is going on around the world. Stay tuned, you're watching Studio G. Welcome back to Studio G. Now there's a lot going on right now, so let's see what's going on in our great, big, wonderful world. Jamie?
Thanks, Kayleen and Alyssa. I'm Jamie Poole, and I have your world news for today. Many nations have expressed their distaste of President Donald Trump. The British Parliament has accused Mr. Trump of acting like a petulant child. That said, the Parliament held a debate to discuss the controversy of inviting the president on a state visit to the UK. This became a nationwide argument following the travel ban imposed shortly after his inauguration. Members of the Stop Trump Coalition expected up to 20,000 people protesting outside of the Houses of Parliament over the duration of the debate. Vitaly Churkin, Russia's ambassador for the United States, died in New York yesterday morning. The Russian diplomat went into cardiac arrest one day before his 65th birthday. Churkin is credited with working to mend Russian-U.S. relations. Other ambassadors of the United Nations have spoken out offering their condolences. Many have noted him as being a deeply caring man and a, quote, diplomatic giant. Kim Jong-nam, eldest son of the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il, died in a Kuala Lumpur airport last week. Police stated that Kim was assaulted from behind and died in an ambulance on the way to the hospital. Many theories have surfaced online surrounding Kim's mysterious and sudden death. South Korean officials have stated that his murder may be a, quote, act of terrorism carried out by the North Korean government. At least 5 North Koreans are under investigation by Malaysian police. Kim's body has not yet been released back to his family, and it will not be returned without DNA from the Kim family. We will keep you updated on this as more reports are released. In lighter news, a 93-year-old grandmother in China has become the latest social media sensation. Photos of Zhang Hexian showing her practicing Kung Fu went viral. In an interview with CNN, she stated that Kung Fu had been a part of her life since she was 4 years old, an important part to her family. Over the years, her family moved away and they don't practice together much anymore. Instead, Zhang teaches her neighbors. This led to her internet fame and Zhang stating, quote, we have been teaching people around here, but I never imagined we'd get the attention of others around the world. Saudi Arabia held its first Comic-Con this past weekend, and people filled the streets of Jeddah. The 3-day festival was put together as part of the Saudi government's initiative of bringing more entertainment to the traditionally conservative nation. In opposition to the banning of entertainment such as public cinemas and the theater, the festival celebrated pop culture, comic books, video games, and more. Comic-Con also allowed the commingling of men and women, opposing normal gender segregation in public. This is all done as part of Saudi Arabia's Visions 2030 program that predicts a wave of cultural reforms in order to diversify the nation and its economy. That's it for your world news today. Now we'll take a look at weather. What's it looking like today, Jessica?
Hey, well, it's looking like we have 68 degrees, high 72, low 52. It's mostly cloudy. We might get showers later on the afternoon around 4, so be prepared for that. As for our picture of the day here, we have Colorado is not having the same luck we are, as you can see here. They had a blizzard a couple of days ago, and it's building up, so hopefully it calms down with the next couple of days here. As for our week forecast here, we have 68, partly cloudy, mostly sunny on Wednesday. Looks like it goes down to 57 on Thursday. Then on Friday, we go back to sunny with 56, and Saturday going right back up to 64 degrees, low 49, as you can see here. So it's looking like a pretty good week. It's going up and down a little bit, but overall for February, I think we're doing pretty good. As for today, here we have 63 degrees on Centennial, going all the way down. At 63 would be the lowest, 70 would be the highest, going to Summerlin and Henderson 71. So it's looking pretty even around the valley here. As for today, this morning, we have 68 degrees here at UNLV, visibility 10 miles. We have wind speed at 23 miles per hour, so definitely take a look for that. Humidity is 28%. As for tonight here at UNLV, we have 52 degrees with our wind chill at 0, partly cloudy and 16 miles per hour of wind. So make sure you have your coat ready for tonight because it will be a little chilly outside. As for our national forecast here, we have a lot of rain going from the northwest here and then down to the east coast. So there's a snow over here and a lot of rain coming down. So that'll be your forecast for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back after these messages.
This is a nutrition center. Anyone from the Las Vegas community is welcome. We can get more people into the nutrition center, get them more educated, then they can learn what ways to prevent chronic diseases and to become healthier individuals. All classes are held in BHS building, Bigelow Health Sciences, room 212, and the times vary, but you could always check them at the UNLV calendar or UNLV Today, and all the classes, times, and descriptions are available there.
We're back on Studio G. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nicole Soto, and I'm here with Jumana Massis. She is the Vice President of UNLV's Arab sorority. Jumana, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, so can you tell me a little bit about, your sorority and how it got started here at UNLV?
Yeah, so there was a couple of girls that were really interested in joining an Arab sorority. One of my really good friends, she is in the Alpha chapter, which was located in UCLA. And she had expressed that we interest in, kind of bringing that to UNLV. So a couple of us girls got together and we thought it was a really important cause to have Arab representation on UNLV's campus. And so it took about a year, but we got voted through MGC's councils, and now we're 12 girls in.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. And why do you think it took so long for an Arab sorority to happen at UNLV?
Well, we are the first Arab sorority in the nation, so there's no other of our kind. I know there's other like Latin sororities, fraternities, so we are the first of its kind. Also, it was only founded in 2012, so we are going on our 5th year this April. So we are relatively new, and I feel like we are such a minority on campus as well in general. So I feel like maybe there was scared of retaliation. That's why there's probably not another sorority that of its kind like ours.
Okay, awesome. And what is your mission? I know that you guys do center a lot around empowerment, but is that your main focus of the sorority?
Yeah, so our main focus for the sorority is definitely creating a safe space for Arab women. So as Arab women growing in America, we struggle with 2 different identities. We have an American identity as well as an Arab identity. So what we do is we try to collate that together and kind of create a safe space for everybody where we can express our ideas. We are made up of 22 countries, so we come from different political beliefs, we come from different religions, we come from different countries, and so it is really important for us to kind of come together and make sure that we are all feeling diverse and that we are all represented at UNLV.
Okay, and what would you say right now are some of the events or some of the things that you guys are doing to hold on to that mission, to keep that going?
Yeah, so this next coming month, we are hosting an annual charity banquet, which is going to be called Remembering the Refugees. For the next 5 years, our national board has paired with the Kayani Foundation, and the Kayani Foundation is a Lebanese NGO that holds Syrian refugees in informal tented settlements, and they provide educational resources. So what we're doing is holding an event that broadcasts our Arab culture by live entertainment and having a lot of people come in with doing culture performances, and we kind of raise money and we donate that to the Kayani Foundation, and then that's going to be helping children growing up from these post-war disastrous things that they've been going through, and that's kind of what we've been targeting is through the Friends of Kayani to make sure that we are helping Syrian refugees build an education and that we're empowered by helping them do that.
Wow, well, awesome. When is that
So
event
that is
going
going to be Saturday, March 18th.
Okay.
That's going to be in the next 3 weeks. So we will be opening at 5:30. We have free food, free admission, and we are going to be broadcasting like the live culture. So it's kind of a way for us, for people to kind of get to know a little bit more about us than what people see on the media or stigmatizations or stereotypes that they may have think about us.
Awesome. And why do you think it's so important for more Arab students to be joining and having more interest in this sorority?
I think it's so important, especially in this day of age, what we see on the media. We just want to make sure that, you know, we aren't what people think of us. We aren't all radicals, or that we're all part of ISIS, or that we're all hijabi girls, or like people automatically assume when they see me, or if I say that I'm Arab, they say, hey, or you're Muslim, right? And I'm like, no, I'm a Catholic. You know, there are different religions in the Arab world. We're not all just Muslims, or don't just like, you know, can't drive, like, you know, that's just Saudi Arabia. But, you know, like there are other things that come with being an Arab woman, and we are strong, and we do have opinions, and we aren't what people think we are, that we just like hide all day long or something like that. So we kind of are here to break the stigmatizations and like show that we are so diverse. We're made up of 22 countries. There's so much more depth to us than people, I think, realize. And so it was so important for us to kind of come on campus and show that, since we are not represented on campus. We are the only Arab organization, sorority, fraternity, or any other organization that has kind of broadcasted that.
Wow, that's amazing. And where do you see the future of your sorority? Where do you hope to see yourself in the next couple of years?
In the next couple of years, I hope to, once I graduate, I'll be graduating this May, I hope to kind of go on national board and kind of expand. So we are relatively new. We have 2 chapters and we have 2 colonies. We just have another interest group that just started. That's going to be at UC Riverside. So we are fairly new. So in the next 5 years, I hope to kind of take our mission as a sorority and expand that throughout America, and make sure that there's other girls on university campuses who are Arab American, who struggle with the same identities of us, of being Arab and being American and being on a college campus and finding a safe space for them. So I kind of want to just make sure that there's other girls who are going to be, you know, benefiting from that, and kind of we just want to make sure that we're benefiting them as well as benefiting our community locally and globally.
Awesome. I didn't realize that there weren't that many chapters, I guess. You know, it's really cool that UNLV is a part of that. So it seems like it's going to be something growing nationally, and that's really great. Are there other causes besides the refugee event that you'll be doing that you guys are focusing on right now?
So right now, since we are relatively new, this is our 2nd semester on campus, we have a lot of events held that we're planning to hold in the future. But right now our main cause is helping refugees locally, globally, as well as helping education for low-income families. So like children who are going to school who do come from low-income families, we just want to make sure that we're giving them the necessary tools to succeed in their education process in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, that's all the time that we have. I want to thank you so much, Jumana Massis, for joining us with Epsilon Alpha Sigma. Don't go anywhere today. We'll be right back after these messages.
You don't get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there, and to just remind you that, you know, your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
And we're back, Rebels. Thanks for sticking with us. Over Grammys weekend, several UNLV students traveled to Los Angeles to take part in the Westwood One Backstage Radio Row event. Among these students was our very own Lee Guilford, who has the story.
I'm Lee Guilford. We're here at the Staples Center for the 2017 Grammys. Several KUNV students were able to make the trip out here to Los Angeles as one of the many opportunities provided through the radio station. As we speak with some of these students.
What's up, guys? We're right here backstage at Westwood Ones for the Grammys. As you can see behind us, it's pretty busy. We got a busy day scheduled. A lot of A-listers coming.
It's ill. It's unexplainable.
He always feels like there's
never ever gonna get to
Remy, you haven't aged, really, seriously. You're the same person you was.
More beautiful than ever. I seen her in The View, and that's my favorite show. And I love all the girls in The View, but my sister was smoking them.
She popped on screen.
She was smoking them.
Volunteers were treated to upscale catering and exclusive performances. Some of those, such as Miriam Hill, were scheduled. Others, such as this impromptu duet between Tommy Davidson and Ray Parker Jr., weren't. As a grateful UNLV student, I'd like to say thank you to Westwood One. For Studio G, I'm Lee Guilford.
Several local opportunities will be available for UNLV students, including Academy of Country Music Awards and the Billboard Music Awards shows, which both take place right here in Las Vegas. For more information, check out KUNV and the Involvement Center in your MyUNLV account.
KUNLV is holding a series of workshops for students interested in sports. Announcing, Albino Guido has the story.
Every Thursday night, UNLV students get the opportunity to learn from experts about the world of sports announcing. KUNV founder Rich Hunsaker is spearheading the first few workshops, providing students with hands-on equipment training and tips and tricks for on-air malfunctions.
In most cases, keeping your head about you while all others are going completely nuts is suggested. The first thing I've done in cases where there's calamity is kill the microphones. Get yourself together, get the mics live again, and continue your broadcast, announcing the fact that there's a situation on the field.
He speaks highly of the theater of the mind and tells students to set their standard rather than emulate their favorite sports announcer.
There's nothing between your listener and the play-by-play that you're staring at than you. If you believe in any way, shape, or form that you're acting like a Vince Scully or Chick Hearn in basketball, you aren't.
Students Casey Carpenter and Randy Dexter find the hands-on element of the workshop very beneficial and look forward to learning more in the upcoming weeks.
Having worked the basketball games and going in pretty much blind, not knowing if something went wrong. I mean, just simple things like learning how to paint a stereo picture for the audience was a great big help. How to set up, all that stuff's really important. It's stuff that we need to know. And the troubleshooting today was really good as well.
The workshops are held every Thursday night at 6 p.m. in the Emerging Technologies Lab in Greenspun Hall. For Studio G, I'm Albania Guido.
The workshops will continue to go over initial equipment set up for the next few weeks, so stop by and learn how to announce for your favorite sport. Thank you for tuning in to our first episode of Studio G. Make sure to follow us on social media. I'm Kayleen Talents.
And I'm Alyssa Truesdale. We'll be back again tomorrow.